All right, greetings everybody and welcome to another video. Today is finally the day. It's the day where Umbra is apparently blue color. It's my monitor. Today we're going to be reviewing the last of the UR units for Final Fantasy Tactics. I'm slowly getting through this huge backlog. But wait a minute, Umbra, you have Ramza. You have Orlando, you have Agrias. You don't have Delita. Incorrect, dear viewer. I have them all now, so you were wrong. Also, apparently, 192 Final Fantasy Tactics orbs and a fully maxed out 120 Delita. And a little more progress towards my fire. You know, it's a nice day some days, right? Shoutouts to this is something that they should be doing with all old collaborations. A lot of these characters are just not super valuable anymore. Get some goodwill from the community. Give us stuff. It's more fun. It will keep people happy. It will make people feel better, and they might actually spend on this game, revitalizing it and bringing it back to its, okay, maybe not its prime, but we're small baby steps. Talking about Delita today. So this is our next on our list of characters that we are essentially looking at their full upgrades, whether or not they are actually worth a damn. And so far, the results, if you've watched the previous video, which was the again video, because there was more to add about the previous three. Yeah, talking about the Final Fantasy Tactics characters, it's very clear that the Tactics collaboration got a lot of love for all of the characters that we have seen so far. The upgrades have been pretty damn staggering. It's also quite amazing to say at this point that Orlando's best weapon is Ragnarok? Are you kidding me? What year is this? I don't even know anymore. So, given that in the last amount of time since Tactics started, and we have basically come to the conclusion that Orlando is incredibly scary, Agrias is incredibly competent at being a tank, and insanely bulky, even bulkier than Earth Veritas, and Ramza is one of the fastest characters in the game. What is left for this guy to potentially do? Well, again, I've been listening to some people on my Discord to essentially see what's going on, and this seems to be the thing for Delita. Nearly 1k attack at 120 with his support abilities equipped, 60 innate defense penetration, and 30 AoE resistance penetration. The bottom line is that he hits hard if he gets a chance before he dies. There's always a catch, right? God damn it, there's always a catch to this stuff. So let's dig into all the details and see what happens. So yeah, Trust Mastery skill, I mean, restore 25 AP for a character like Ramza's support shout skill does that on a specific condition that will actually be really useful for characters. So Trust Mastery, not really that valuable anymore. So let's hope the kit can. Dream ability is defense penetration of 30 and AoE resistance penetration of 30. So that's a lot and a long way going towards making his offensive capabilities much, much better. I just got the character. Leave me alone, game. I know, don't have it. This was the button I was looking at. But there's also more stuff to look at. So taking a look, one of his weakest ones, the acquired AP skill, which was essentially just acquired AP up by 50%, which is really, not great. Now has extra accuracy of 25 for him, increased slash attack resistance penetration of 40, and when his HP drops below 50%, will actually trigger a healing ability. So much in the same way as basically most of the Tactics characters right now, once their HP drops below a certain percent, they get that free heal. As I noted with Ramza as opposed to Agrias, Agrias does have healing power up, which will effectively make that healing capability just stronger. So Delita, it's kind of hard to say whether Delita even wants to bother with it, since most interpretation of his power right now seems to be generally, well, it's probably better if everyone else is targeted and he just doesn't get hit. One of the really promising early on combinations, in the sense that this collaboration has only been around for a couple days, is essentially sticking him with Shawls and then potentially some other character to keep him safe, maybe a little bit more focused on, and then letting Delita just go out and, well, I mean, I know it's a dated reference at this point, but looking back to the original Marvel Avengers movie, smash. Yeah, that might actually be the ticket for Delita. Delita's is really dependent on what characters he gets put with and what the setup is. His DPS does seem to essentially be high enough, as he is rocking an incredibly high attack stat with everything that he has in his kit. It's just kind of keeping him up to pace, speed, making sure that he doesn't fall behind. So you look at the Final Fantasy Tactics accessory, which does give him an extra movement up for the first turn. That might even be considerably valuable for him. Talking about equipment really fast. Again, Ragnarok is considered to be one of the most important things right now. I mean, looking at it for Orlando, it actually is just the best for Orlando, giving him 8% agility, defense penetration, and weakness resistance. Looking at Delita, what we are getting here is, and I just want to bring this up on the other screen so I can make sure that I'm not saying anything wrong, not loading, not pausing the video for this. So a 200% chance for CT down immunity for himself, so he can't be CT down, which is quite nice. Slash attack resistance penetration of 20, and reduce magical damage taken the larger the AoE size. So not too terrible, depending on what equipment you have available to you. It's good enough for Orlando. Because of the speed bonus, it might not be quite as strong here, but it's still worth noting. Alright, moving next, let's head down and talk about his limit burst. So his limit burst hasn't changed in strength, but it has changed in range, which is really good news. I don't have any job points at this point, so let's go back out. I mean, this is the problem. Thankfully, I have some banked. Bear with me. I mean, you can scrub ahead if you want. It's kind of rude, but I won't say anything too loud about it. And, 20,000 job points. Slight withdrawal from the bank. It's before 6 p.m., so the bank is still operational. Then we find him. We go back in. Well, let's talk about, all right, that was a giant waste of time, and I'm just going to move on. So this was originally his range on his limit burst. It was incredibly short, very hard to hit opponents with, and just not very good. Well, now the actual range is almost, by the looks of it, almost like I think it's like 2 or 3 panels more, judging on the very small preview that I have. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now a range of 5 as opposed to a range of 3, so up from 2 down to also 30 AP when you actually upgrade it. And the mod has stayed the same, at least the base mod. It is still a 200% mod, but it does get a 80% increase if the targets have shell or re-raise, and then also absorbs 50% of the damage done with a 67% chance of silence. So it keeps its regular chance of silence, but effectively is capable of dealing much higher damage towards mages. So in the same sense that the original was a mage killer, now the newer version is just a upgraded mage killer, which is generally pretty nice for it. All right, taking a look at the other upgrades for him. So, starting off with his AP acquisition, we already talked about that support skill that has been improved. Sword of Causality has been improved to essentially remove all buffs from the targets and significantly reduces fire resistance for 3 turns, then deals large damage, which is quite nice. Being able to remove fire resistance means that he will be able to, strengthen other fire characters. That ability is, however, still fairly short range. So for people who are wondering, it is not that one, sorry. This one is what it was. But as you can see, it's a little bit more flexible. It's the same story as Ramza, where Ramza's was essentially 1 panel. This gives it 1 diagonally as well, which does make it a little bit better to use. The benefit here is still pretty nice. You are getting a 48% fire resistance down for 3 turns, dispelling all buffs, haste, physical and magical damage buffs for the target, and it has a 200% mod. So overall, it's been improved. Its AP cost is also a little bit cheaper. So I would say that this ability is generally pretty good. The spell is always nice, and the fire resistance just helps other characters. So good. Taking a look at his next ability to be upgraded, Ice Wolf Break, which deals damage large after removing Protect, Guts, or re-raise from the target within range. And I do believe that is his job level 25 ability up here. Taking a look at it before, it was dispelling Protect, it was dispelling Ignore Fatal Damage, and dispelling Auto Revive. But you're also getting rid of Haste at the moment, and you are reduce physical damage taken, increase buff for targets, which is a bit of a mouthful, but essentially allows him to deal more damage. Unfortunately, though, range hasn't improved, AP cost hasn't gotten a little bit cheaper, so, a little bit of a not so great thing there, but it's fine, I think. Meditation, which is one of his sub abilities, greatly increases own attack, magic, and debuff resistance for 4 turns. So debuff resistance is the new thing on here, and also gives him a move +1 and reduces AP consumption. I have to say I quite like this ability because, if you look at it, how much extra damage you're getting here. A 60% attack buff for 4 turns is really good, providing you can keep him alive. Also, decreasing the AP consumption by 40% is really good. And the move as well makes him more flexible and easy to keep up with other units, potentially not making him drag behind, letting another unit go in front, die, and then you have that kind of problem where basically you just didn't work out, and Delita ends up in not a good spot. As for Bite Ice Wolf Break, large damage to the target greatly reduces AP. That range is set to 4 now. So just taking a peek at where that ability is, right here. Great reduction of AP. Seems to be a reduction of 40 now, providing that it has been updated on Wotv with a 200% mod. So good stuff there. And his last ability, Random Life Cutting Killing Strike, which is the ability with Death Sentence. Essentially has a higher chance of Death Sentence now, inflicts large damage, so it's got a mod increase, and its range has been increased by 1. So if you look at essentially what they have given to Delita, We have a lot of abilities that have, improved range, decreased AP cost, lots of little things that do add up to make him essentially, better than he was before. Do I think he's as insane as the other characters? Not really. Orlando does seem like he's going to come out of this smelling like one of the best DPSs in the game, if not just the tactics event. And Delita doesn't have really that much that supports his survivability or gives him all that much extra healing. He feels a little bit more, how do I say this, restrained, probably because of just how good fire is right now. People shouldn't underestimate just how good fire is on JP, and especially going with fire evasion, where characters like Sephiroth are just put with enough evasion that, the opponent can't really do anything about it. We also have the Flame Sorcerer, who kind of deals with that same idea of an evasion-based team, and that is gumming up the works with some teams being too high. Don't get me wrong, that is generally a good thing, that we are not experienced just like a two-team meta, but something like evasion can come in. So the question is whether or not Delita can find a good pair of partners to really support the kind of style he wants, which is basically Delita wants to go in and smash everyone. Delita go in, kill mage, get rid of stupid mage with poo-poo cane. Like, that seems to be essentially what the game plan is there. So you do need to keep focus off of him and just let him be able to really go berserk on the opponent. But there is a lot there supporting really high attack with really high attack based abilities and increased movement, which is everything that we kind of want to see. So yeah, maybe I will do a little bit more of a test on him in the future since I have his 120 version. But a little bit of restraint for now. My voice is dying. So thanks so much for watching. Take care. See you later.